Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Sting Sports Orion boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Sting Sports Orion boxing gloves. Got mine in the black and white colorway. 16 ounces in Velcro. You can also get this model in lace up, anywhere between 12 to 16 ounces with a total of 5 colors to choose from, which you can check out on Sting's website. It's made of full genuine cowhide leather with a foamy tricot liner on the inside of the hand compartment and layered foam padding that's very thick and plush over the knuckles. That's medium in firmness, and the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. Now, it's been several years since I've done a review on a pair of Sting boxing gloves. I'd say maybe about 3 to 4 years ago I did a review on the Sting Armalite gloves. And the Orions that I have here is a glove that a lot of you have requested I did a review on. So I got these gloves a little over a month ago and added them to my training. So I have a pretty good idea of how these perform, their pros and their cons, and then ultimately whether or not these are a glove that you guys should check out. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that Sting Sports have been and currently are the partner of USA Boxing, as well as I believe they're partners with the International Boxing Association. So what that means is oftentimes if you're watching amateur boxing at the national level, like here in the United States, if you have like the national boxing tournaments, the qualifiers, the Golden Gloves tournaments and whatnot, oftentimes you'll see the boxers using Sting. You also see even at the international Olympic level, where you oftentimes will see them wearing Sting headgear, the gloves, and even the clothing. So it's something worth mentioning because a lot of their equipment and their gear, when you go to their website, is very heavily based on the amateur on the amateur boxing. So you'll see some of their gloves that they do have that are more of that traditional boxing shape and size and profile. But a lot of their equipment also is more of that amateur pedigree. Now, from a design standpoint, when you're looking at this glove, like a lot of the other amateur gloves, it has more of a short, stockier build to it, kind of reminiscent of the Thai style glove. And the leather on here has more of a satin finish. It's not super glossy, nor is it matte. You have that Sting Spider logo that comes across at the top, has a little bit of an angle to it, and you have that contrasting color between the black and the white. You do have the separation and contrast between the white leather and the black leather that comes down diagonally across the back of the glove that comes and turns into the thumb. It does say Sting Orion right here on the thumb. You also notice that it does have a ghost coloring, if you want to call it. So it does say Sting underneath it in black. So just depending on the lighting and the angle, you'll see that it says Sting right here as well as in black, kind of that ghost font. 3.5 inch Velcro strap with Sting in white. You also have that Sting Spider that's embossed, that you can feel it on the back of the Velcro strap. Nice little added detail. Rotating to the palm side, oh, you also have the weight right here. Forgot to show that to you guys. So that's 16 ounces. On the palm side, you also have an embossed logo right here that says power for your passion on the inside. So it has a little bit of a slogan. Opening the Velcro strap up. Nice grippy Velcro on the strap. You'll also notice that it does have an elastic system that keeps the strap connected here at the very bottom. So it doesn't allow basically this opening to open up. This elastic trap basically keeps the Velcro locked into place rather than allowing the palm side piping to fully open up. It does have that connected at the bottom. The padding on the wrist, I'd say, is about almost 1/2 inch of medium density foam padding. And the padding on here, the wrist design, again, very similar to Thai style gloves, where it has a circular splinting type of system. It doesn't have one piece for the back of the wrist and 2 separate pieces for the inside of the wrist. It's one full piece that surrounds your wrist. So when you look at it, you'll notice that the padding goes all the way around. Now, on the inside of the wrist, you'll notice on the thumb side, there really is no padding. It's just that soft liner. But on the outside, opposite of the thumb, you do have padding on there that is, I'd say, about maybe 1/4 of an inch in padding. So kind of a unique design when you look at that. You have black piping, black stitching as well, and ventilated holes with a cross pattern below the grip bar. Grip bar on here, I'd say it's a little bit on the medium to smaller side, and I'd say it is about medium in firmness. Definitely would have loved for that to be a little bit larger and a little bit harder when you grab onto it. And then lastly, you do have a leather attached thumb at the very tip. Quality wise, the gloves are really solid. The leather on here is very nice, has a very thick feel to it, does not feel cheap. Very comparable to a lot of the other higher end Pakistan made gloves when it comes to the leather. So if you have a pair of, your standard Pakistan leather gloves at home, it's pretty comparable to that. Something like Top Boxer and a lot of other brands use a similar grade when it comes to that. When I put the gloves on the scale, both gloves are a little bit underweight. I believe at 15.4 and 15.5 ounces. These gloves are advertised as a 16-ounce glove. To be honest with you, I would have rather the gloves be overweight than underweight, because at least then I feel like I'm getting a little bit more glove for the money. But they are, if you want to just kind of round up, about a 1/2 ounce underweight. So just something that would have been nice to see, especially for a company that makes amateur style gloves. To me, the weight is a little bit more important. And I would assume that when it comes to their competition gloves, the ones that are approved for like master boxing and the other approved commissions, that those gloves would be more on point with weight. But not a huge deal, but at least both gloves are pretty much the same weight as each other. The stitching on here is done really nicely. Logos all look really good. No issues with the leather, no peeling. Thumb position looks good. The way that the leather is rolled up is done very nicely. The palm side leather is done really well. The embossing is done really good. Liner is good. No exposed foam, no issues with any threads popping out. And the glove, I'd say it's pretty well balanced. It's not a very top heavy or bottom heavy glove. So in terms of weight distribution, it's actually done really nicely, which is a little deceiving, because when you look at the gloves, they're definitely more of kind of frontal heavy, if you want to call it, or you're putting a lot more of an emphasis on foam over the hand compartment. So you would oftentimes think, just by looking at this glove, that this middle section towards the rear would flop down just by grabbing the back of the cuff. But in this case, they've done a really good job of distributing the weight throughout the glove, so it doesn't feel like it's just all right here towards the top of the glove. But overall, quality on these gloves are very solid. That's the left glove. Here is the right. A little bit of pulling of the leather, but that's pretty normal that you'll see with a lot of gloves when they stitch them. No issues there. Where the thumb meets the index finger, it looks really good. Palm side's done really nicely. Velcro strap. Symmetry wise, height wise, you can see the gloves are pretty much identical in height. You're looking probably about 3 inches in total thickness of padding over the knuckles. Thumb position looks good, symmetrical. Same thing with the logos, as well as the diagonal stitching that comes across, that contrast between the white and the black color. Pre-curved hand compartment looks pretty much identical on both, and the same thing with the depth of the finger compartment. Rotating to the palm side, next to each other, again, look pretty much identical as well. If I wanted to nitpick, I guess you can say where it says the weight of the glove right here at the bottom, where it says 16 ounce, the left glove is a little bit higher where it says 16, where the right glove is a little bit lower. But again, we're just really nitpicking at this point. So you'll notice that this glove right here, the font is a little bit lower to the bottom of the strap, where the one on this one is a little bit higher. Again, we're nitpicking, but whatever. That's what we're supposed to do, right? And then the Sting logo on the tab of the Velcro looks really good. So overall quality on these gloves are definitely good, solid. Comfort wise, sliding my hand into the glove, So first things first, that liner feels really good. Really good job with the liner. Nice smooth tricot liner throughout the glove. You'll notice that there's a little bit more of a faux, like polyurethane type liner on the inside of the thumb that faces the inside of your thumb. That feels really good. You have about an inch of medium density padding that goes on the back of the thumb. That feels very comfortable. And the depth of the thumb is perfect, and the position as well. So, you know, compared to the Armalite gloves, definitely a win and a big improvement over those from what I recall. Even the piping at the base of the thumb gives you enough room even with hand wraps on. So I don't feel like the piping at the base of the thumb is restricting or cutting off the circulation to my hand, which is a big plus. And that's kind of a pet peeve of mine because a lot of gloves will cut into my thumb and that makes it really uncomfortable. So that feels really good. No excess material or liner around the top of my finger, or that drops down into the finger compartment. So that feels really good. Grip bar definitely could be a little bit larger. When I make a fist, I can tell that it's there. But to me, when you have a grip bar, don't make it an afterthought. Make it a grip bar. Make it to feel like where if I'm making a fist, I can really feel that grip bar, and it really kind of, you know, solidifies my fist when I make it. So I definitely feel the grip bar. It's a little bit of an afterthought with this glove. It could have been done better. Finger compartment, I would say, is a hair on the shallow side. It's not bad, but it's not great either. You also have a neoprene pad right above the stitching, so that feels like a secondary grip bar, which I really like. And the more I use it, it just takes the shape of my hand, kind of gives you more of a personalized feel. The width feels really good, so it's not too wide, nor is the hand compartment too narrow. And I don't feel like there's any space for my hand to really wiggle around on the inside. So in terms of it really enveloping my hand and feeling really comfortable, you definitely get that sensation with this glove. So there's really no areas of this glove on the inside that I feel like there's a pinch point in terms of discomfort. Again, the only thing I would say is probably just needs a little bit more of a deeper finger compartment and a larger grip bar. But other than that, the gloves are very comfortable. The other big thing about this glove is going to be just how much, you know, more broken in they feel compared to any of the other IMF gloves that Sting offers. You know, this utilizes that layered foam padding. So to me, it's softer and it's easier to open and close your hand to catch, parry, or move away shots. And I definitely like that about the gloves. I'd say that they're maybe about 65 to 70% broken in when you first get them, and they still do take some time to soften up. But by no means are they stiff like an IMF glove. These are definitely softer. And then the more you use them, the more you're going to be able to really open and close your hands. And then the foam over your knuckles will soften up. The one thing I was really concerned with when I first bought these gloves, when I was looking at the photos online of the gloves, they had that kind of that same rounded, bulbish, injected molded shape, which I hate. And I was like, man, these are probably going to be just like the Armalites, and they're going to be super stiff. And when I land a punch, it's just not going to feel good. But it's a little deceiving. These actually perform really well. It does have a more rounded shape to it, but because the padding, excuse me, is softer, it definitely is more malleable. And when you land your punch with it, it absorbs the shot really nicely, but it also conforms to whatever you're hitting. So when you're doing, you know, heavy bag work with this glove, you get a good amount of pop, but the feedback is definitely there as well, right? It's not going to be like a horsehair glove or a softer latex foam glove, but you could definitely feel your shot, but you get a good level of protection as well. So that's really, to me, where this glove really excels, and why I really am impressed with these compared to the other Sting gloves I've used in the past. So I definitely love that layered foam padding. And again, kind of with the protection and performance, to me, these are a balanced glove. And, you know, I think Sting, that was their aim with this particular model, was to make this a great, you know, mid-range price training glove. Hence why they offer it in Velcro and lace up. They have a good amount of colors. You can get them between 12 to 16 ounces. So to me, this is a glove that excels really as a great training glove in the gym for everything. Using them for sparring, using them for bag work, hitting the mitts. They're pretty versatile in my opinion. They're easy to take on and put off. You know, put on or take off, excuse me. So that's another big thing. I think sometimes there's certain gloves, once you put them on and you remove them after you've been sweating and you have your hand wraps on, they're kind of a pain to pull off. With these gloves, because of the shorter cuff And the way that the hand compartment is designed, it makes it easier to put these gloves on and remove. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind. But overall, a really, really good training glove that I'm impressed with. Cost-wise, these gloves are currently $110, which I think is a fair price. Honestly, for this glove, the level of protection you're getting, the combination of the performance and the feedback you get from the padding, it's a really comfortable glove. It's a little deceiving when you first see it because you think it's going to be really stiff and uncomfortable, but they're actually a very comfortable glove. Now, obviously, there's just a couple small opportunities I would probably improve on if it was me, but not enough to negate still getting these gloves at that price point. So $110 I think is definitely fair, especially because they have a couple of different cool colorways. You can get them in lace up as well. So good variety that gives opens up the window for different people on what they're looking for a training glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Sting Orion boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Peace.